Okay, I want to invite anybody who is here who is part of an applicant team to go ahead and do a sound check. If you want to raise your hand within Zoom here, we can go ahead and get that started. Andy, I'm going to send your prompt right now. Monet, I'm going to send your prompt. And it looks like we have an email of elronch@aol.com. You want to try your sound?
Yes, Ed Ron Kelly with St. Rose Parish.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
And this is Andy testing video and audio.
Sounds good. Thank you. Looks good. And let's see, we have Monet.
Here, can you hear me, Kimberly?
I can. Thank you. Okay, Adam, I'm going to go ahead and send a prompt.
I'm on. Thanks, Kimberly.
Sounds good. Thanks, Adam.
All right, are we ready to go? Okay, so this is my name is Andy Gustafson. I'm acting zoning administrator, and I'd like to call to order the December 16th, 2021 regular zoning administrator meeting. Thank you all for attending. Today, I want to announce up front that we do have 2 agenda items on our 3-item agenda, that those 2 items are being continued. So I want to let you know that the Hillside Development Royal Manor Place permit is being continued, and also the landmark alteration agreement or landmark alteration design review for a fence on College Avenue will be continued. Stay tuned. We'll give dates. So
Correction on, I'm sorry, Mr. Zoning Administrator, correction on item 3.2. That has been withdrawn by the applicant. I'm sorry, item 3.3. I apologize.
okay, so it's not being continued to a date uncertain. It's been completely withdrawn.
Correct. Yeah. Item 3.3, the landmark alteration and design review for 439 College Avenue.
Okay. All right. I kind of jumped ahead there. I just wanted to give that headline for anyone in attendance who might be here for those 2 items. But let me go back into our agenda. This is a public meeting. It'll be conducted as we would conduct any in-person public meeting. We are doing so remotely to help to reduce the spread of COVID as required by the county's public health officer. This Zoom meeting is being recorded and can be viewed afterwards on YouTube. The link to that site is on the agenda. This meeting will be conducted as I said, as any public meeting. The items will be presented in turn by the project planner, and then the applicant will have opportunity to comment add more information. After that, I'll open it up for public discussion if any of you wish to do so. And then an action will be taken. Any action made today, whether it's approved, denied, or approved with modified conditions, can be appealed within 10 calendar days of this meeting, which will be December 28th, the 10th day. And if you wish to do so, then please contact the project planner and they'll instruct you how to file your appeal. So with that sort of preliminaries out of the way, we do offer opportunity for the public to comment on any matter that's not on today's agenda, which is subject to the zoning administrator's jurisdiction. If you wish to comment, please press the hand icon, raise your hand, and you'll be recognized and given 3 minutes. If you're calling it, I don't see any callers. If you do call in, press *9 on your phone and be recognized. Is there anyone who wishes to make a public comment on this at this point? Seeing none, let's then move on to our 3 scheduled items. So as I mentioned at the start, items 3.1 and 3.3 are not going to be heard today, but I want to have the project planner for 3.1 not present the project, but confirm that has been, as I understand it, requested for a public hearing. Monette Shikali is the project planner. Monette, can you give us an update?
Sure, correct. And good morning, Mr. Gustafson. So yesterday we received an email requesting for a public hearing on this item. We have contacted the applicant and let the applicant know that we will not present the project today. And I'm waiting to hear back from the applicant when they will be ready to schedule the item. So either it will be in January or February for this item to be prepared and scheduled for the zoning administrator meeting. And we will send another notice and an on-site sign will be posted. Also, a notice will be mailed to Press Democrat. So whenever we hear from the applicant, when they are ready to move forward, we will again prepare all the noticing and schedule it.
Excellent, thank you. So we will rely on that separate notice to inform the neighbors when it will be brought forward next year, 2022. All right, so I'm going to jump ahead to the item 3.3. And Adam, you said at the start that landmark alteration and design review for 439 College Avenue, that proposal has been withdrawn by the applicant, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So that leaves us with item 3.2. And Adam, you are the project planner on this one. This is a landmark alteration permit for 547 and 549 B Street, the fence on the property. Can you give your report and recommendation?
Yes, sir. Give me 1 second. And then if you could just confirm you see the presentation before you.
I can, thank you.
Great. And I wanted to start off by saying to you, Andy, zoning administrator, it's been a pleasure presenting projects through the years to you. And I really do appreciate it and wish you the best in your retirement. So with that,
That's very kind.
you're welcome. I mean it.
Doesn't
It's
mean
not
I can't ask the tough questions.
Oh yeah, it's, you know, you typically do, so that's all right. So in short, not everything will be missed, but most things. Anyway, okay, let's get started. This is for a new black metal fence. It's a minor landmark alteration permit, file number LMA 21-017. The address is quite a few here. 547, 549 B Street, and 320, 322, 340, 348, 39, and 398 10th Street. And I am the project planner for this. This is a new black metal fence with gates consisting of one lower and two upper horizontal rails. So these are the images below that show what that design would look like. This is within the St. Rose Preservation District. And this is at an existing church site within that preservation district. So because of its location within the St. Rose Preservation District, it does require a minor landmark alteration permit. So here's an aerial view of the St. Rose Catholic Church. You could see here, it's the project site. So it's quite a few buildings along 10th and B Street, that hence the, and the fence spans along those addresses. So that's why it's quite a few there. So just this is just a neighborhood, a kind of, I'm sorry, it just lists the surrounding type of uses on the site layered over this aerial. So here's a site plan for it. The red dashed line shows the proposed fence location with the little doors swinging inward would be what that is for the gates. Sorry, those would be the gates. There's a little corner, so it adds a fence here, and it goes along the site. It would connect to an existing chain link fence. So here's some of the existing chain link fence along 9th Street. Here's a view of the current site along B Street. This is kind of in the middle there. And this is the 10th Street and B Street corner looking into the site. And here's an example of the similar fencing around the area. So just to kind of go over this one more, just a little bit more, the fence design was analyzed under the requirements of a landmark alteration permit. And the findings show that, you know, it's a very similar material to the type of fencing that's been used for quite a while. It's set back from the street, from the back of sidewalk enough as to not kind of intrude on the public right of way. The reason why it's not a chain link fence is because chain link fences are easily scalable. And for those reasons, staff is recommending approval for the minor landmark alteration permit. I do want to point out that there was some public correspondence received for this project. One is included in the agenda packet. The other was sent in via email, but not entered in time. And I'll read that verbatim now. The Catholic Church created this problem in the neighborhood by having homeless services and attracting homeless and indigent people. Should they be allowed to have a wrought iron security fence to protect them from what they have created? Should we all get one and charge them for it? This is unbelievable. No, they shouldn't get a security fence. They should have to suffer and struggle to keep the trash and people and human feces and urine off their property, just like the rest of us. So as you can see, that public correspondence was not in favor of the proposed project. Another discussion was had prior to the meeting with a member of the public, a neighbor, wanting to expand a bit of the portion of the fence to cover a section that is what he identified as a considerable nuisance to the property by not having it fenced. And with that, that concludes my presentation. Again, my name is Adam Ross. Here's my contact information, and I'm here to answer any questions you may have.
This additional fence is a 6-foot fence throughout its length?
Yes, I apologize. It is 6 feet.
Okay. I don't at this time. The applicant is now invited to comment, add more information. If you wish to do so, please raise your hand and you'll be recognized.
I'm not sure if I see the applicant here. It'd be someone from Roman, the I'm sorry, I'm getting the name confused as I'm trying to think about it, but the from the congregation from the St. Rose Catholic Church.
I do
I have
see.
somebody, we did a sound check at the beginning. I can't remember what he said his name was, but his email is ELRONCH, and he's raised his hand.
Great.
You can go ahead. You don't need a prompt.
Okay, this is Ed Ron Kelly. I'm a parishioner at St. Rose and have been working with the pastor in trying to establish proper location for the fence so that we can provide some safety to the property and the campus. There are many nights when the homeless will come into a side entrance and sleep and defecate behind the bushes, also up into the baptistry, that circular area in the center of the property where they will spend the night and defecate just anywhere in the property. I had the opportunity to talk to Mr. Greg Parker, who is one of the residents in the area, and he was most supportive in the fence. And in fact, he talked about himself going around the neighborhood various nights, rousting out or calling the police to roust out homeless or vagrants around not only the church property, but his property and the neighborhood, and was very much supportive of installing the fence.
Thank you for your comments, explanation. Is there any other person or parties from representing the church that wishes to make comment at this point? If not, I see Katie Elmore. Are you part of the applicant team or representing the church? If we can recognize Katie.
Katie, you should have
Hi,
a prompt.
yes.
There you go.
Yeah. Hi. I don't really have any additional comments. I am from Tierney Figueredo Architects, and we have been working with Ed Ron Kelly and the St. Rose Church on this project, and it would be very helpful to their work to have this fence. And I think Ed has already explained the situation much better than I could. So thank you.
Thank you. All right. So let's open this discussion up to the public. Any member in attendance who wishes to comment from the public, please raise your hand and you'll be recognized. And Katie, if you could lower your hand at this point, thank you.
Okay, we had two hand. Oh wait, we've got hands kind of going up and going down. It looks like we have Denise Hill. I'm going to go ahead and send you a prompt.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Hi, good morning. Hey, so I'm a resident of the St. Rose neighborhood. Actually, our house is right across from the church parking lot. And we fully support this. We're thrilled that it's happening. We've had a lot of challenges in this neighborhood with encampments, and we're hoping that this is one more tool in the toolkit to hopefully encourage people to take services rather than camp in the neighborhood. I'm also thrilled that it's the style it is, because that does mesh really nicely with our historic district rather than a chain link fence. Would love it if the chain link fence around the parking lot could be replaced, but I know this is a pretty pricey item. One more thing about, in a just addition, if there's any way that the church would consider closing the parking lot gates like they used to, their automatic gates they used to close. And now we have a lot of sideshow behavior in the parking lot late at night. And so that would be something I just want to mention while we've got someone here. from the parish who could maybe consider reactivating those automatic gates at night. But really, the bottom line is that we're thrilled this is happening. We've been in contact with the church offices. They've been, assuring us that this is what was going to happen in their goal, and we're glad they're there. And I think it could be nothing but a plus for the neighborhood. There is that small area that was talked about expanding the fence from the east side steps over to the entrance to the church property on B Street. And it really probably should be closed off, because that is another area that, unless the landscaping changes, is conducive to people camping and other things there. So anyway, very supportive. Thank you for your time, and thank you to the church for moving forward with this project.
Thank you very much. We have another person, Mr. Greg Parker. Mr. Parker, please be recognized.
You hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Greg Parker, I live about a block away from the church on B Street, and I do go down there pretty much every night to check 3 buildings down there that have no trespass orders to try to keep people off the properties. And I've talked to Ed, Ron Kelly, and Father Dennis, and Adam Ross. I'm the one that has been bringing up the little spot if you go from the corner of B and 10th Street, it's between the stairway south on that map you have. I don't know if you can pull that up, I could describe it to you, but there's a little triangular section south on B Street from the very corner. They've got the little fence that's closing off some steps.
Thank you, Adam.
See the little red thing right up at the corner? It'd be on between there, right there. There, you got it. That is a place where it's like the latrine for these guys, and there's big bushes in there. They camp back there. And if you close off everything else, that's just going to be a magnet for them. So I'm asking that you extend the fence down on that section. Number one. And then in addition to what Denise said, there's also access to the property from 7th Street. There's a little, it's a short chain link fence between the old school and a private property. And there's a gate there that is locked, but they've cut open the chain link fence so the homeless can get in back there. It would be, Washington. It's going to be, you're talking about down there.
Sorry, I'm just trying to follow your direction where it is.
Okay.
What you're talking about.
Street. Okay, you see the hashed out original St. Rose. Go to the right of that. And right up that alley, there's a little alleyway going right back into the church parking lot. If you go north, or if you go straight up there, the fence is up there. That's a private house. If you go between that house, it's like a little, there's a little gap. No, you're over here. Back where you were. Go straight up. Yeah. Now come back down. Right? Keep coming down, keep coming down, keep coming down. Right there, there's a fence. There's a little fence and a gate there. That fence is ripped open. And so if you're going to close the property off, close those 2 gates to the parking lot and close these off. Otherwise, they just come in the back way. Then it's like, a gated community for them. And that's about it. I appreciate it. I'd love to see that closed off. I've talked to them, and everybody seemed to be in agreement that it'd be a good idea. So I'm kind of surprised it wasn't mentioned by Ed, but I think that's necessary. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Parker. Is there anyone else in attendance who wishes to comment? If so, please raise your hand. I'm trying to look up my list. Thomas Drain.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, I'm actually Thomas John's spouse. I'm using his computer, but I'm at 615 B Street. I'm just within visual sight of the corner of 10th Street and B Street, where it's like a stoop. It's where, this has been a chronic, I call it the settlement, because there has been constant homeless men camping out there for 2 years, perhaps a little more. So basically, I hate to see any property needing to be closed in. I like the openness of the St. Rose entranceway to the Baptist, the whole visual, but I don't see any other solution other than fencing in the property. And so I just wanted to give my voice of support for the parish's project of fencing in as it's presented, with the addition of what Greg has mentioned about the other possible entrances into the property. So thank you. That's my statement. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Drain. All right, anyone else who hasn't commented? I don't see anybody else on the list here. So I'm going to close the public hearing. And I did have a question regarding the suggested fencing enclosure of that open corner on B Street. Is that something that the applicant is considering or wishes to do? Would that be linking all the way across that frontage, as Adam has just kind of indicated there? So that's a question to the applicant. Is that something you're willing to consider doing? And you can recognize Katie.
Yeah.
So I know that this was discussed, and I had understood that it was within, looking at the map, it doesn't look like it's in the vision triangle for those streets. But there was some concern about adding additional fencing in that area. However, it would, Ed, if you're still there, it would be great to hear your response on this particular item.
Yeah, Katie, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, actually, after talking to Greg, I wasn't aware of what was happening behind the bushes. And my thought was that we would run the fence from that little portico on the corner back along B Street to the next exposed corner, but do it behind the bushes so that you don't see so much of the fence. The landscaping stays pretty much the same, but you've fenced off that area so people can't get back behind the bushes. And also, if I might add to, I think Denise's comment, the lady who lived across the street on 10th Street, it is our intent to repair those chain link gates so that they are motorized and remote controlled.
Great. So it sounds like there could be a solution to extend that fencing along the B Street frontage to deny places where people might have access and conduct undesirable activities. All right, I have a question. There's a lot of line work internal to the property fencing. Is that exclusion fencing also? I don't quite understand what that is. How does that relate to excluding access to the property?
Can I comment?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, the continuous red line, it's a dark and red line. That's an existing fence that separates the back of the rectory from the church property, or the church proper. That's been there from the time the new wing, which is, I don't know, I've forgotten how many years old it is, but it's been there from the very beginning. And of course, the curly Q lines from there to the right, that's all landscaping, vegetation. They're tall bushes that separate access and vision. And that's primarily what the fence and that landscaping was put in for, is to limit vision from the church to the back of the rectory.
So that, I'll call it internal fencing, is not a perimeter security fence, but rather establishing an internal separation between the rectory and the church.
Right, except for the dotted line, which is to the left of that. Yes, that will be part of security. Now keep going to that dotted line, that's new, or would be new. And it's for security purposes. To the left of that dotted line, there is a fence now that denies entrance into the back of the old convent. Yeah, right there. So that's an existing fence. And then there's an existing chain link fence that runs from there to 10th Street. Yes.
Okay. All right. I think I understand that better. Thank you for providing the explanation. So I read through the resolution with the findings that are associated with the landmark alteration in this, and I do agree with the conclusion that this metal fence is of a type and a style that's similar to the architectural wrought iron features on the existing buildings, and in that regard, it does complement, and also the architectural historical character of the development on the property. Nor would the location of this fencing, its placement on the property, its height, detract or diminish the historic value of the existing development on the property. Further, I think it's being placed well behind the sidewalk on B Street as well as 10th Street. Will help to avoid what often is a problem with security fencing along frontages, where it really looms and deprives kind of that open feeling or space along the sidewalk for pedestrians. So I commend the placement of the fencing that's proposed. I do think in this instance, it would be appropriate to allow for the continuation of the fence alignment along B Street to the corner to remedy that area inside corner that's been discussed. And I would say that it would be an appropriate revision to the resolution that would allow the project planner to approve a modification of this proposed fence to extend using the same type of fence material, the fencing through that corner, same height, same setback from the street, as appeared would be accomplished or could be accomplished here. That would work well, I think. So, and that's really up to the project applicant to do so. So I just want to provide that flexibility for the fencing to be extended to the corner along B Street. So, yeah,
I do have a little bit of language to kind of identify that
okay.
that I could read. So The fence shall be allowed to extend along the eastern side of the St. Rose Parish Offices building outside of the vision triangle. Is there anything else? That needs
yeah.
it? Something along those lines as
Yeah.
a condition of approval?
Yeah, I don't think a vision triangle is a concern here.
Me
As long
neither, but I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah, if the existing fence is extended north to that exterior corner and then to that already illustrated enclosed corner, and holds that setback, that will not substantially alter the visual character of the proposed fencing, nor would it impact the historic character of that development complex. So let's allow for that flexibility if they choose to do so. Then Adam, you or another planner will be able to approve it. And then, just in terms of what I've heard, if the intent is to exclude people, to exclude trespass on the property, I would really encourage the church to take a look at the existing perimeter fencing and close any gaps and maintain that. It sounds like you will, but I think it's worth it to underscore here that if there's gaps, holes like at the outside of 9th Street curb, go ahead and do that. So with the resolution with the modified conditions as we just discussed, I will approve this landmark alteration permit and thank the parish for addressing this issue in I think a gracious and well-designed way. Unfortunate condition or circumstance you're having to deal with, but I think the resolution is a good one. Thank you.
Thank you.
So that concludes the zoning administrator meeting of December 16th, 2021. This is the last meeting of the year. Thank you very much for participating and have a great day and a holiday end of the year. Bye-bye.